Hi guys, welcome to today's session. I've just had an absolute blunder and I've sent out the link to last week's session. So bear with me for 2 moments. I'm just going to update the link in the Discord so that people can actually rock up and turn up to the correct live session. There we go. Apologies for the blunder. Welcome guys, welcome. Muziaza, finally. Have you been waiting for us to stream? Is that what it is? Finally? But you may notice I'm not alone today, which we will get into in a moment. We'll just wait for a few more people to join. Maestro, here we go, Maestro. Of course, yeah, that's your Discord name's like the same, Muziaza? That character from the green helmet or whatever it is. I can't believe you've actually made a session, Maestro. Good stuff, good stuff. Well, it's good to have you here anyway, dude. I don't think you've ever been to a live stream, or at least you've never commented on a live stream. So it's good to have you here. We'll get started now because I can see people coming through. So welcome guys to today's session. As you may have noticed, I'm not alone today. So I want to introduce you guys to Blayn, who was a trader at Darwinex. Darwinex Classic is the provider of DarwinIA and has now joined me on the UK and US growth team for Darwinex. So Blayn, it's a pleasure to have you on the stream today. It's a pleasure to have you as part of the team. And with that, a lot of you guys know how I trade and what I do for XAQP. I owe a lot of that to Blayn, and I know I've spoken about him a lot in the streams in the past. And so I thought, what a way to kick off Blayn's journey with Darwinex and the journey with these live streams. It's getting into the thick of it in some strategy development stuff. So welcome to the company, Blayn, and welcome to the live stream.
Thanks very much. It's very good to be here, and yeah, nice to see everyone that's online today to join us for this session. My name is Blayn. You know, I'm the person behind IME, and yeah, I'm purely an algorithmic trader. And today we're going to go through just some basic things that you can do to potentially, you know, better yourself off with algo trading.
Maybe we might need to get some translations as well, some subtitles, because Blayn is quite Scottish, if you haven't noticed. So you thought it was bad with a Brummie accent. Now we've got a Brummie and a Scotsman.
Yeah, so if you don't understand, I'll try slow down as much as I can, but it will just be natural for me to speak like this, I'm afraid, at the moment. But yeah, I'm from Scotland, so a little bit of a different scene from where Kieran is. But yeah, so we're going to do like a building session today, and one of the first key things that there is before you like do anything is you've got to have idea generations. And so for some people that might be a bit daunting, but there is quite a lot online that you can easily extract and build simple concepts, and then, you know, take them further and potentially trade them live. So we're going to go through one today, and it's a very simplistic website. It's called Quantified Strategies, and it's this website here. And on this website, there is a lot of free strategies, and you could honestly probably build a whole portfolio just from these strategies today. But we're going to do a very simple one. We are going to do S&P 500, and it's just going to be a simple RSI, just to kick things off, something very easy, something for everyone to sort of understand. And it's literally going to be a strategy where we are long only, looking to just trade that sort of longer term upside on the indice. And 2 seconds, while it verifies that I'm not a bot. And let me get down to it. For anyone else that wants to potentially build this today, you could quickly go on FX Dreamer and open up an account, and you can build this alongside us today if you want. And, you know, you can take it further as well. So, you know, it'd be good for some people today that have never used FX Dreamer and are wanting to move into algorithmic trading, that, you know, if you want to join along, then please do so. It's going to be very simple. It's going to be very easy to build today. So this is essentially what we're going to be doing, the power of the RSI for the SPY trading. So we're not going to test it on the SPY, we're going to test it on the US 500 today, which is the exact same thing, but in a CFD format. And I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with the RSI indicator. It's just a momentum indicator indicating when things are either oversold or overbought. So we're going to do things when it is oversold today. So we're going to be using the buy signal when the RSI dips below a specific threshold. So very simple, not too many rules to it. So all you need to do is go on FX Streamer, and this is going to be a very simple build. First of all, we want to have no positions. So we're only going to trade one position at a time. We're not going to have multiple positions open all at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do is have a no position block. This just enables that there will be no positions. And when there's no positions, it will actually work. When there is positions, this will not be activated. So we're going to do no positions. We are going to do our condition. And within this condition, if it can load up, just refresh. Don't know why this isn't working. There we go. Sorry for the delay.
Blayn, is there any chance you could zoom into your screen slightly, just to make it? It's quite difficult to read the text.
How would it do that? 2 secs. I don't know.
Just in your browser settings on the top right, you should be able to zoom in. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Everyone can see that, yeah?
I can.
You can, yeah? Okay, no problem here. So we are going to open the condition block, and we're going to find in the indicators RSI, and you'll see we've got the period, we've got more settings, and we're going to be only trading this on the daily time frame. So we're going to go down here, scroll the daily time frame, and for candle ID, we want to look at the close that's just happened. So we're going to put number 1 in there. Then what we're looking for is it to be below a certain level. And we're going to have that to be a value. So we're going to be quite extreme. We're going to look at it when it is in seriously, like, you know, low territory for an RSI. But you're going to see why when we get further along. So we're going to do that. But what we want to do is probably put this to a 2 period. So because the 2 period means it's going to be, the oscillator is going to be moving quite fast. So it's going to hit below 10 quite a lot. So that's the first block. And then
I guess that's more targeting after kind of flash crashes and quick wipeouts,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
We're looking for the volatility of the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I think it's important to mention as well. I'm not sure if you already did, Blayn, but this is a strategy that we found online before the session. So like the results of this system isn't something that we've looked to build. It's just we're going to rebuild what we found and then see what we can make better for this system. And how we would go about doing that sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly. So we're going to connect these 2 blocks together. So when there's no position, we are looking for the RSI2 to be below 10. If this is true, it will then buy, and we're going to connect these 2 blocks together here. And then within that, we're going to, first of all, just test the overall entry. So we're going to have no stop loss, no take profit on this at the moment. We're just going to stick it at a fixed lot of 0.1. We're going to see if there is an edge just trading this sort of strategy. But we are going to have an exit condition, and that exit condition, apologies while streaming, this has been a bit slow for me. We're going to look at the exit condition. We're going to use the opposite of the entry. So we're going to do the RSI again of 2 on the daily, on the 1. But this time we're going to do above 90. So when it gets into, you know, overbought conditions, then we are going to get out of the trade. So we're buying low, selling high, just natural things that you would do with anything to do with trading or stocks or investing.
I think again, because you're building this system for the SPY, which is a naturally appreciating asset, it's kind of like it's easier to build a one-way system, right? That is you're kind of capitalizing on the nature of the asset as well as a market edge, if you will. Or I guess that sort of plays into the edge to a degree.
Exactly. And after connecting the close block, that is it. And this is a very simple strategy that we've built within minutes. And for all those that are that joined along, you've got this system now too. So the next phase is to test this system. So 2 seconds while I zoom out Kieran again, because I'm going to try.
Yeah, Rob, this is the paid version of FX Dreamer, but you can do it on the free version. You just have a limited amount of connections that you can do between the blocks, but I think that limit's 10, so you should be able to build this on a free version and export it.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to build this for now. It's only when you go over 10 bucks that you need to do for a paid subscription, but just for the sake of today, you can do it for free, and it just means that you can get in the habit of building things, getting familiar with FX Dreamer if that's what you want to do, and then once things, if you're happy with it, then you can obviously pay for the subscription and take it from there. But we're going to take this into the testing environment. So I'm going to bring this across into MetaTrader. So I'm going to export the file. 2 seconds. And we're going to, I'm just going to quickly upload it.
Oh my life! I've always downloaded the MQL file and then converted it in MetaTrader. I've just been adding a useless step.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's useless, because then you're getting to make sure that there is no errors. I'm just doing this for quickness, for the quick sake, and I've been using it for so long that I know what I've built's fine. But I would actually probably get in the habit of, if you built something a little bit more sophisticated, definitely follow that process of compiling it. But we can show that afterwards. So just ignore all these. These are just all the tests I've done today, so it's quite a lot at the moment. So we're going to go find the one that I've done here. Okay, so Darwinex breakout session number 1. This is the one that we've already built here today, and we're going to test it on the S&P 500. So, if you've got MetaTrader, got a Darwinex account, you'll be able to get this data as well by downloading it. So you can also test this as well. So we're just going to run that. And it'll take a couple of minutes, but we'll see it starts trading. And this system is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the best system. Like, we can see that there's big drops, and we've put no stop loss, we've put no optimization. We've simply just built a simple entry model to see, first of all, does it work? We only want to be taking things further if the actual system itself works from a very raw state. And, it's a very simplistic system that we can take this a lot further if it is profitable. And one thing I would like to add is a lot of the strategies on the quantified strategies are profitable if you build them. So it's a great place to start if you're a beginner and really get to grips with building these systems, because you will get profitable systems from them. The question is it good enough? And that is all down to the individual as a trader. But we've almost finished this test here, and from what we can see already, it is profitable. So this is something that we potentially would take further. But what I don't like is we can see the equity drops here, and that is purely because there is no stop loss. So once this is done, we're going to take it further into how we can best protect ourselves.
So Maestro's asked, do you know if this or any other builder like this has the capability of looking at trading view, because he hates charting in MT5? I mean, I would say you don't have to chart in MT5. That's just where you're storing the tick data, and that's just where you're running the test. So I wouldn't worry about having to chart, because you don't. If you're looking to build and trade in view, you're going to have to learn how to code in PineScript, which to me has so many limitations that I just wouldn't even bother. But you don't have to necessarily chart in MetaTrader.
No, I mean, can chart and trade in View and then bring the ideas over to FX Streamer and just simply test them in FX Streamer. Like I still use TradingView to look at charts and potentially look, so, like we all do, look at the charts. So yeah, you could use both, but unfortunately for doing this, you need to use MetaTrader if you're using FX Streamer. Okay, so we're now looking at the backtest report of this strategy, and from what we can see, it is profitable. It's got a decent 1.5% return to 0.82% drawdown, 1.54% 1.54 profit factor, 64% profitability. So right off the bat, this is actually not bad. This is a good start. But what I don't like is we look at the average win against average loss, and we can see the average win is smaller than the average loss. But we do expect that when it's a mean reverting strategy and we've actually got no like sort of proper take profit. But looking back at this graph, what I don't like is we can see here, is that clear, the spike there, Kieran, yeah?
Yeah, the green one.
Yeah. So we can see that there is a spike in the equity chart. So the green is your actual overall equity, blue is like finalized balance naturally. And the one thing that we want to protect ourselves from is, let's say there's a massive flash crash, right? This could be severe on your trading account or on anything. We know the S&P has some really bad dips, like over 50%, and we don't want to be exposed to that. We want to make sure that we're not in those sort of positions. So the best natural defense that we can do, and everybody knows how to do it, is wrong screen.
I just want to say to Tail, welcome to the session. Yes, you do have to say hello, handsome people now. There is more than one of us these days.
Okay, so going back over what we said, we're going to be looking at implementing a stop loss, and there is an easy way of determining what is the best way to apply a stop loss in a thing like this. So we're going to use percentage of price, and rather than just test random ones, we're going to make a constant here. Actually, I'll zoom in again so everyone can see.
Tail said, is this the person who makes XAQP look like a little Darwin account? It is indeed. It is indeed. But I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It is what it is. Blayn is a fantastic trader, and I'm happy to have him with me doing this.
Well, you can name it whatever you want. I just like to stick to the names of what they are, so then when we see it in MetaTrader, we know what we're on about. I'm just going to put a simple value of 1. Press update, and this is purely so then we can run an optimization test in MetaTrader, which we'll do in just a second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on percentage of price here, and we're going to select SL percentage of price and just update and follow the same process. I'm just going to put this as number 2 so I can easily identify it. We'll go back into MetaTrader. I don't know why mine's been so slow since going live streaming, Kieran. You know, it's
probably just your PC's using all the power to stream, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. So yeah, we have implemented that stop loss, and now we can go to inputs. Before we had nothing. Now we have this stop loss percentage of price. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and find what is the best stop loss for the system, but also try to find it in a safe working area. So we're going to go to optimization here, press fast generic backtest base algorithm, go back to inputs, select this left bar here. We're doing increments of 1%. So it'll test at 1%, and every 1% it'll test back to, let's put 5%. So we're going to test a stop loss of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This will take a little bit of time to process. It shouldn't be too bad. And this is going to tell us what sort of stop loss is best for this system. Who knows? There might not be too much difference. This is an unknown until we actually test it, because we've literally just built this system fresh. So I don't know what the best stop loss is yet. I don't know if the raw system's actually better without stop loss, but we'll find out.
So Tails said, "Damn, almost 1 million into capital, Blayn, you beast." And then Marto P Trade said, "I don't think there's much worthy of testing outside of breakouts on JPY pairs, indices, and commodities strategy wise," which I agree with. They are, both Blayn and I have strategies that do those things and do them very well. Today is a fantastic example of that. However, I have fantastic strategies that do the complete opposite of breakouts. On euro dollar, I have mean reversion strategies. I have trend following strategies. I think it's all about how you build them, not necessarily what you build, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that, Blayn.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with the yen-based pairs. The volatility is really good for breakouts. But I have traded, before I was algo trader, I was a swing trader and more mean reversion. And I can tell you that UJ still worked in a mean reverting environment, depending on in extreme values. So when it goes above X amount, you can still trade the mean reversion of it. But breakouts are definitely good. Commodities breakouts definitely good. But again, they've all got to be in the right environment for breakouts to work. And that's why mean reversion as well as breakouts work. There's not a wrong way of trading. And, when you're doing algo trading, you will find that, because you'll find things that work and you'll find things that don't work in different markets. And you'll find things, mean reverting and breakouts can work in the same market. I've found that with euro dollar. Breakouts, Kieran, I think you've got the same as well. You've got mean reverting on euro dollar as well as a breakout on euro dollar as well. So there is assets that both work.
Do you know what's funny though is I actually agree massively with the idea of breakouts. And I saw a video a few weeks back, and it was somebody talking about breakouts and basically saying, somebody asks them, what's the one strategy that never works? And the guy said, "Oh, it's breakouts. Would never trade breakouts. Nobody should trade breakouts. They don't work." But actually, I think breakouts are probably the most misunderstood system for retail traders, because there's so much misinformation about them. Like, it's a pattern that it's full of constant variables that happen over time, because you're just taking previous bar highs and lows of price and trading the breakout of that. It's not like you're waiting for a specific pattern within a specific pattern within a specific pattern. It's such a basic concept, which is why they work so well, especially on JPY pairs and commodities.
Breakouts happen on everything. You just choose what sort of pair you want to trade that is the best breakout. If we didn't have breakouts, prices wouldn't move. So
exactly, yeah, 100%.
But yes, so we've run the test now, and we can see the values, percentage of stop loss: 5%, 4%, 3%, 1%, and 2%. And the good thing, we already know that it was profitable. The good thing is, even implementing a stop loss, it's still very profitable. When we look at the drawdown to profit, our 5% is better. So maybe I'm going to test after this, just maybe beyond 5%. But choosing either 4 or 5 here is good. And we know the system is robust already from the entry, like the raw entry is already good. Also the fact that we know long-term S&P goes up. But we're just going to run a quick test as well. So I think before we only had 67 trades because we didn't have a stop loss. And we have more trades now, but the reason we'll have more trades is because we're going to get stopped out sometimes. And we're gonna watch this as well, but we're not going to see crazy equity dips as we did before, or we shouldn't do. But we won't see more trades because we'll be getting out when price is, beyond the 4% drawdown. This one.
Maestro said he's pure mean reversion and his favorite pair is JPY pairs. I don't think yen has ever mean reverted, right? I don't think I have any mean reversion stuff on yen strategy. Where's my mean reversion stuff? No, so I run at the minute. I have one mean reversion system that I run on 5 assets, and it's pretty consistent on any asset that I put it on. I run it on, or at least any FX pair. I run it on euro dollar, pound dollar, New Zealand dollar, dollar CAD, and euro CAD. All different time frames and different settings, and the strategy still works really well, which is great. But it's fairly infrequent. It's not very active as a strategy.
Interesting. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking through the chart there as the trades. So we have done an optimization and we actually got more trades, but we can see the profit factor is actually worse and the drawdown is actually worse, which is doesn't normally happen too much. Normally when you add a stop loss and optimize it like that, it's normally a bit better. But it makes sense when we're trading mean reversion on the S&P 500. But that's the general concept as to how I would go about potentially building a strategy on something like this. Looking just first of all building something very simple, starting with basics, and then doing an optimization on a stop loss. It could be an optimization on the take profit. But what I want to see is I want to see like a safe range here. So I wouldn't choose this. I wouldn't choose this. And I wouldn't choose this. Can you see that? I don't think you'll be able to see it too clearly, actually.
It's quite zoomed out.
Yeah. I don't know how to zoom in on MetaTrader, I'm afraid.
Maybe if I just is that better? I've just overlaid us.
Okay.
I don't know if you can. I don't think you can zoom in on MetaTrader, can you?
I don't think you can. So it's not going to be the easiest to actually see these results, to be honest. Either way, this is probably a bad example to show in terms of like how I would choose a stop loss, but to give you like the theory as to what I would potentially like look for in a stop loss is I want to see it work across multiple sort of stop loss ranges. So hypothetically, let's say this didn't work on 1% and it didn't work on 5%, but it worked on 2, 3, and 4. I would choose number 3 because it's within the middle of what I would class as a safe working range, just because it gives it breathing room either side. And it just means that we can monitor it going forward to see what happens to 3, what happens to 2, 3, and 4. Like, let's see if there's any edge erosion in those sort of things. And these are the things that are very important to do after you develop a strategy and put them live. You really do want to track these to make sure that they're reflecting what you've tested and they're within the sort of like drawdowns. And Kieran, I think you can actually probably go over this quite well on Quant Analyzer, showing like a Monte Carlo analysis into what I mean by safe working range in terms of what is the optimal drawdown as to what I would do before I would potentially switch it off.
Do you want me to do that now or in a bit?
I mean, I don't have too much.
I'm just running a test at the minute. I've been building it side by side, but I've added a stop and a target. It's way less volatile, but doesn't perform as well.
Yeah, so it'd be good to show that one as well because I've not optimized the target. Because mine's running so slow. I'll need to get this sorted for the next stream.
Son of the King said, mean reversion even works on silver. You've just got to trade it at extremes. I mean, mean reversion works on anything. Like Blayn said about the breakouts, the price will always move. If it doesn't move, it's like price is always going to do something, right? It's either going to break out, it's going to be more volatility, it's going to range, or it's going to mean it's always going to do one of the above. You just have to, exactly what you said, trade it at extremes. One of the things that I love on silver, I don't have the data for it off the top of my head. I just see the pattern a lot is when silver's rallying or gold's it's usually metals are rallying on a Friday afternoon. I usually cut my long positions because I know there's a fat dump coming. Perfect opportunity for a mean reversion. But yeah, it's just how you structure it on different assets. Everything trades differently, right? What did you get your profit factor to, Blayn?
So the first one was probably the originally best one. I think it was like 1.77, or no, it was 1.54, and now with the stop loss included, it's 1.35. So the profit factors went down just based on the original system of getting out when the RSI is above 90, getting in when it's below 10.
Yeah, see, I've got the profit factor to 135, but it's pretty much looks similar to yours, just half risk.
Yeah. I mean, the original actually looks better in this case, which is totally fine. Sometimes you'll get it. It's just up to, for me personally, the original system, I personally wouldn't trade it because there's no safety, as in, like, there's no stop loss. And I'm a big advocate for having a stop loss.
Yeah. So.
Because we just don't know what's going to happen as traders. And, the most important thing is obviously risk management. Yeah, I've just run it again. So 5, 4, 6. Okay. So you'll see as we increase the stop loss price, there'll be less trades, naturally, because we're getting out less. I mean, there's probably a few things I can do to make sure once we're in like a losing position, we're not taking another one, because I'm pretty sure it's taking a lot more positions than what it would be, but I can leave that out. Yeah, these guys are on YouTube as well, and some of you obviously know them. But they've got lots of different strategies you can build as a beginner on FX Dreamer using like the quantified strategies. They've got over 200 free ones, so it's a great place to start your building journey. And then once you get the hang of it, it's just all about repetition with FX Dreamer. Like you'll bang your head on some things, and once you get it, you'll not forget it, and then you can move on and build a lot more complex things. One thing that I would say is I wouldn't worry too much about trying to build complex things early, because you can get a lot of strategies that are very simple. Like here, the one we looked at yesterday, the bar breakout one, simplistic, a simple strategy. Yeah. And we just applied simple things, and it worked great. So I wouldn't get too caught up on trying to build the biggest project with the most sort of like indicators or filters, because you'll find the more that you add, the more things that can go wrong. So if you start off very simple, optimize the right things in the right way, less things can go wrong, and you'll probably see better returns on those sort of strategies than you will things that have been over optimized. But yeah, definitely check this out. Anyone can reach out to me as well and about these sort of things, or if they have any questions that I've not covered today. Yeah, because I might not have been 100% clear. As Kieran said, who knows? Some of you might not have a clue to anything that I'm saying because of my accent at the same time. So
yeah, I'll let me whack my screen up a sec. So I was just playing around with different things with the same system, different settings. So all I did was, I don't even know what I did different. I added a couple of constants in just so that I could change the settings within. I added a stop loss and a target. So the target was a multiplier. So basically what that means is whatever setting your stop loss is, the percentage from the stop loss is a multiplier of that. So if you had a 1% stop loss, for example, and then a 3% target, it's going to target 3-to-1 risk to reward. But of course, with other conditions like this, like what we set up where it was saying that if the RSI period reaches another level, let's say like the value of 90, then it would also close the position. I have, and I know Blayn does as well, have time-based strategies. So at specific times of day, the trades will close. for multiple reasons. A, sometimes benefits performance of that strategy, flattens out the volatility of the strategy, and B, it helps you going flat into the evening and over the weekend. It's always nice to be flat at the end of the day. XAQP mostly is flat pretty much on every evening, unless one of my mean reversion systems has kicked in. I'll show you one of my mean reversion systems. I'm going to have to load it. RSI mean reversion. Okay, so effectively, and again, like Blayn said, if there's any questions with this, please pop it in the chat, because while we're here, it's a lot easier to answer them than if you go and do this yourself and then have questions down the line. Taylor said Kieran is learning so much. I'm so happy for him. I wish I could say what I was going to say. Blayn, do you trade yourself, or do you also have someone under you who? I'm not even going to honor that question.
I do trade myself, yes.
I'll explain to you what he meant by that later on. He's laying into me. So with FX Dreamer, it's a super, and there is other versions of this platform. There's Perfectus AI, which is owned by Darwin provider PYE. And there's loads of block builders. There's things like Strategy Quant, which you guys know I talk about all the time. But something like this is fantastic for beginners who are trying to get into, I don't want to say algorithm development, but into building a multi-strat portfolio, because you can test so many ideas, you can build fantastic strategies. Both Blayn and I have. So just for the guys who are here who don't know who we are, this is Blayn's performance. So 60% return over the past 2 years. So clocked in 2 years this month, 60% return on his Darwinex account with an 8.31% drawdown. Currently managing just shy of $1 million of real investor capital. And then we also have me. You guys know who I am. You've seen me hundreds of times. Clocked in 40% return today in the past 10 months, and sitting at $131,000 in investor capital, pretty much. So the reason I've shown that our performance there is because a lot of that, if not most of it, especially for Blayn, I have a couple of strategy quant systems running on XAQP as well. But I think Blayn, correct me if I'm wrong, your whole portfolio is built by FX Dreamer, or built by you using FX Dreamer, right? Yeah,
exactly. None of mine are. I've not dabbled too much into strategy quant yet, but we'll get into that over next couple of months. But yeah, all mine are FX Dreamer built, tested, and using the same methodology as what I kind of went over there today. So it does prove that if you get the right ideas, build the right portfolios together, that you can build something that's really good. And it's to put a little bit of backstory. I've not been doing it that long. Like, I would say this is my 3rd year in automation, or going into the 4th year in automation. So you can pick it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you all know me. I'm fresh. Like 1 year, I think just over a year ago, right, Blayn? We first started talking, maybe a year and a half ago, and I quickly jumped into it after that. And XAQP has been alive for 10 months now, and it's been a huge shift for me. I'm not saying it suits everybody. It obviously doesn't. There's some people who love discretionary trading. There's some people who are fantastic at discretionary trading. I was okay. I was decent. I had good periods, bad periods, but the consistency of building a multi-strat portfolio is what I love as a trader. Like, it benefits me. I like knowing that, I have 29 strategies currently, changes every day, but I have 29 strategies that are all working together instead of just one point of failure, which there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of successful Darwinex traders who do trade with the discretionary methodology, but it's just about exploring new avenues as a trader, right? If something's going to work better and make you more money, and ultimately bring you more success as a trader, why not embrace it, right? That was my idea coming into automation anyway. But I want to reiterate how simple these things have to be. So Again, when I first started, I thought it was going to have to be, I was going to have to build some super complex master system. But in reality, what we're looking for is to build multiple small edges, things that are repeatable because they are so simple. So again, I mean, you just saw the system that we built or Blayn built from an online archive of strategies. We have a breakout system that Blayn and I was dabbling with yesterday. It's one of the strategies that I run on XAQP, and we just did some optimizations to that. Super, super simple. It's looking back at a bar breakout, essentially. So it's measuring previous candles, looking at the high and low, and it will trade when above or below that. We simply added in some time filters so that it only trades throughout a certain period of the day. Of course, it enhanced the profitability of the system, which is what we were looking for with that optimization, without over optimizing it by, you know, switching off 12 p.m. enabling 1 a.m. Like if you're randomly switching off random hours of the day, that's where you're going to fall into the trap of something like over optimizing the strategy to the results so that the backtest looks perfect. But then when you try and run it live, it's basically going to do its ass. Now, what we did was we gave it a bracket or a time window where we saw consistently over almost a 10-year period. That's where the majority of the P&L came from. It came within this time window, which was a consecutive window, which you can put it down to a logical reason, right? If it's trading the NASDAQ, of course, it might be before or just after a market open. You're going to get an injection of volatility due to the US traders waking up and starting trading, essentially. And therefore, there's a logical reason to make that optimization. Whereas, like I say, if you're turning off certain hours of the day, keeping some hours switched on, turning off some months, keeping some months switched on without a logical reason behind it, it's likely that you're just reading the data and trying to fit the strategy to that data, which again is just going to collapse when it's live. Multi trades, I don't trade manually on XAQP. I stopped trading manually about a year ago and I've never looked back. Honestly, never looked back. Anyway, this is a mean reversion system. I run it on 5 different assets. It works fantastic for me. I won't go through all of the settings that I have because obviously it's my intellectual property. I run these systems live. And of course, you know, I don't want the world to know what I'm doing within reason. So basically, once a day, it looks for, I also have this strategy running in 2 ways. I have it in this, which is where it will set a buy stop and a sell stop order, but I also have it where it executes a manual execution as well. So once a day, this block is essentially telling us that once a day, it's going to do these checks. So I have it set to a certain time in the evening. So on the evening, it's going to check for the variables for the next day. It's going to delete any pending orders that haven't been filled. It's going to then check for the spread. I should probably move the spread filter here to right before it sets a pending orders. Actually, no, it doesn't make a difference. This is where we was talking yesterday, Blayn. I need to add delete pending orders if the spread gets too wide.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the reason I did a spread filter is because I learned the hard way. I got tagged into a silver trade where liquidity was really thin when silver was at all-time highs a couple of months ago, and the spread blew out. I got filled, you know, hundreds of points above price. Price never went there. It is what it is. And so moving forward from that point, I put a spread filter into all of my strategies. I was a little bit overexposed and vulnerable because I didn't realize at the time. But now, obviously, moving forward, all of my strategies are protected from that sort of thing. Moving forward from that, that's just kind of a security thing. So basically, it's only going to ping off once a day. It's not going to just keep setting pending orders. It's going to remove any old orders, and it's going to check that spread is stable. As soon as those security checks are kind of out of the way, it's going to then look at my RSI conditions. Super, super simple. So I have it at set as constants, which basically means I can change those variables within MetaTrader. However, you're basically looking for a 14-period RSI is above a specific oversold or overbought level. I usually keep it between 70 and 75, depending on the strategy I'm doing. And then if that condition is met, it will then set a buy stop if it's oversold, and it will set a sell stop if it's overbought. I won't go through all of these settings now because I appreciate this is probably a hell of a lot of information. And if this is your first time looking at this sort of thing, it's probably going to overwhelm you. But effectively, this is just where we set our risk management parameters for the strategy. So it's going to open this. Well, I have to explain what this means because it's part of the strategy. So this is where the buy stop and sell stop is going to be set. So we're looking back at start candle ID 1 to the end candle ID breakout bars. So that is essentially going to look back at that period, and that's where it's going to set the stop order. And then I have it set to risk percentage of balance. So it's a dynamically evolving strategy, meaning if the stop loss is wider, then of course it's going to adjust the risk on that strategy or on that trade for the stop loss size. And as your account compounds over years, it's also going to increase the risk. You can do it with fixed lots, and I have my strategies from Strategy Quant usually are in fixed lots. It just means that every time your balance increases, you may have to start increasing the fixed lots, which is fine. It is what it is. And when you're running the strategies at such low risk anyway, it's very infrequent that you have to do that. I then have my stop loss and take profit set. So every trade will have an SL and a TP. Same with any system that I have running on XAQP. There is no grid, no martingale, no trades without a stop. Stop loss mode I've got set to a percentage of price, again with a constant that I can set whilst I'm testing. And then take profit multiplier. So a percentage from stop loss, again, that just basically means it's a target multiplier. So if your stop is this big and you have it set to 3, your target is going to be 3 times that. Or if it's set to 300, sorry, because it's done in a percent. So I actually have that already exported in MetaTrader. So I'm going to load it up now, run a test. I can go live. Let's see the strategies I have it on now. Let's run it on. Let's run it on EuroCAD, because EuroCAD's a great one. It's super infrequent. It doesn't trade a lot. H1 every tick based on real ticks. This is something really important as well, is when you're testing on MetaTrader 5. Also, always use based on real ticks, because it's going to check the real tick data, so it's going to give you more accurate results. The reason that I was testing on every tick, and I think Blayn was as well for the S&P 500, is because the history quality of the real tick data, especially specifically from Darwinex, which we're testing on, is super, super poor. So we test on every tick. Let's go 0.2, 0.45. So this is 0.2% risk. Stop loss is 0.45% of price. Take profit multiplier 100%, which means it's a 1-to-1 risk to reward system, which means my target is going to be the same size as my stop loss. How many bars do you want to look back to is 1. That's going to give us our breakout level, or our buy stop or sell stop level. So I'll look back to the high or low of the previous bar. That's where it'll set its sell stop or buy stop order. This is the time of day, translated to 6 minutes past 11. Correct me if I'm wrong, Blayn.
Yeah, it runs after, an EMP +2 on Darwinex.
Yeah, so this is effectively that's Darwinex's time zone, or the server time zone. But in the UK time, which is where I'm based, is 6 minutes past 10 on an evening. So basically you're getting 6 minutes past market rollover. It's then going to check for these conditions. RSI calculation 14. I'm going to put this slightly higher to 74 and 28. So slightly making it a little bit more extreme on the RSI settings. And I'm going to put a spread filter of 8 pips. Now, these settings, I'm sure you all are aware of what an RSI calculation is, or what the RSI is, but it's essentially saying that the higher it is on the RSI, the more overbought it is, the lower it is, the more oversold it is. We're just putting our threshold for that slightly higher and slightly lower. The calculation period is taking a look at the previous 14 bars. Spread in pips, that's just my spread filter. So if spread is bigger than 8 on EuroCAD, when it looks to set the orders, it won't take a trade. It won't place the orders. So it's just another way of kind of future-proofing the strategy from getting blown out by a big spread move. Tell said, no grid, no martingale, no MT4. You're a hater. I am a hater, especially on MT4. MT4 is awful. To the point, how are we doing? Welcome to the session. So now I'm going to start the test. Now I use this strategy live, so I have given away some of my IP, but it's a super infrequent strategy. It's a fantastic strategy. You'd have to rebuild it anyway yourself. Unless this test, if this test collapses, that's going to be pretty embarrassing because it is on my live portfolio. But it shouldn't do. If it does, it's a data issue. But Do you have any strategies on EuroCAD, Blayn?
No, I actually don't have in that IME portfolio. I do not have a mean reversion. It's just all purely breakouts. But on the other Darwinex Zero thing, I've got a few mean reversions.
I just realized while I was saying that the real tick data on EuroCAD also doesn't work on MetaTrader, so I have to put it onto every tick.
I think the way to get around it is download the data from QDM.
Yeah. Oh, why is this not working?
Go to journal.
No. Come here now. Stop it.
There you go.
There we go. There we go. Lift Locus said, so 0.2% is how much you'd usually recommend risking per trade. It's not. I risk different per every strategy that I have. So I have 29 strategies at the moment, and they all risk different amounts. Usually is between $30 to around $300, dependent on the strategy. But it all depends on kind of what your goals are. My Darwin runs at really low risk. So you can see this is XAQP, the master account. It's up 8.3%. But my Darwin is risked or multiplied by 3.4 times. Come here now. Come here. Come here. My dog is next to me, like barking because there's a dog barking outside, and I don't want it to bark and deafen you all. Come here. Come and say hello. Do you want to watch MetaTrader? Come on. Up. Here we go. Here, big girl. There she is. She's come to say hello. Good girl. Okay, shouldn't take too much longer now. Into 2025. But again, this is a one-to-one risk to reward system. That curve looks slightly different to what no, it doesn't. It's exactly the same. Yeah, so there's my curve. I think since I've had it live, when did I set it live? I think I set it live somewhere around here. I think it's up live, so maybe it was further on. I'm not 100% sure. It's taken a few trades since I've had it live, and I'm up on EuroCAD, I'm sure. The people in their closet doing this stream, what a joke company. I mean, we work from the UK and Scotland. Darwinex as a company is based in Madrid. Don't know what you want me to do about that. If you want me to move to Madrid and stream from Darwinex headquarters, then fair enough. But I'd be happy for you to not watch the stream. So see you later. Join the Discord, checking what you guys are about. Awesome. Great to hear that, dude. Great to hear that. But yeah, Hussein, don't worry about it, Tal. Don't worry about it. We don't deal with haters. It is what it is. I mean, doing it out of a closet, it's clearly a bedroom. There is a bed. I don't trade options. No, I don't trade options. I've never traded options.
I don't trade options either.
I think
right? Pardon?
Options is like massive in the US.
Yeah.
So Maestro said, I need to ask Blayn something important, optimal or Lagavulin.
I don't even know what that is.
He doesn't know what it is. Conrad said, can't believe that it's working. Lift Locus. Okay, thank you. I set the risk per trade to 1% currently, which is 10K during 1 mil calibration. I have an end of day machine learning strat. Nice. I mean, obviously with Darwinex anyway, your Darwin is risk adjusted, so it's not too much of a big deal. I like to have my Signal account or my master account running at low risk because, well, it's just a personal preference. Some people prefer it the other way around. But if you're currently in calibration, like see how the risk engine treats that when you come out of calibration, see what the what kind of your risk multiplier is and how your Darwin is treated by the risk engine. Oh, he said it's Scotch.
Scotch whiskey. I've never had either of them. To be honest, I wouldn't say I'm a true Scot. I've not had too many whiskies.
Yeah, I can't drink whiskey at all.
Give it 20 years, I might like it.
But yeah, anyway, back to the results of this. So you can see it had a 1.61 profit factor, 62 or just under a 63% win rate, with a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So long term, it has a positive expected value, 0.93% equity drawdown, and a 4.1% return. That's in an 8-year period. So that's since the beginning of 2018. The curve was great for the past few years up until 2023. It's been in a bit of a stagnation period since. The reason I introduced this system is because my portfolio was under. I needed a strategy that performed through this period, so that when I'm looking at different market cycles and how my strategies performed, I noticed that I was heavily loaded towards certain sort of systems, which is great during periods like what we're seeing now, where breakouts are happening left, right, and center. It's easy to trade gold and silver to the upside. It's easy to trade yen pairs. But okay, what happens when that stops working? I need systems that will maintain the portfolio during quieter periods for my other strategies. So that's the main reason that I introduced this system, and quite a few other of my mean reversion plays as well, or mean reversion strategies that I have locked and loaded. But yeah, we're going to call it an end to the session here, guys. If you have any questions, please drop them into the Discord chat. We'll be doing these sessions once per week anyway, moving forward. So on a Tuesday, Blayn and I will be here streaming live, going through strategy development stuff, building systems. I had an idea to build like a community Darwin as well, which I think could be a really, really good idea. I still need to put my head down and kind of map out how that would look, but potentially that's something that we can bring into this kind of stream and do it over a few weeks period or a couple of months or something. But we will be back at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. So we'll be back on Wednesday tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time. As always, we will be scanning the markets and looking what's happened over the past couple of weeks. So maybe a try, maybe Tal, maybe this year. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world. Blayn, thank you so much for joining me, and welcome once again to the streams and to Darwinex. It's been a pleasure to have you here today, dude.
Thank you. Can't wait to be speaking to a lot of you as time goes on as well.
Awesome. Sounds great. Catch you all later, guys.